Hi, I'm Zoe, and normally on this channel I make videos about children's books and children's literature, but today I wanted to try something a little bit different. This is the first in a series of videos I'm planning to make, charting my progress through a year of spending less. That didn't sound particularly catchy. A lower spend year, a low buy year. This is my low buy year. So why am I embarking on a low spend year? Well, I don't think it's too dramatic to say that over the past couple of years, my spending habits, especially when it comes to clothes, have become chaotic at best. I seem to have gone from somebody with a relatively level, sane approach to consuming and buying clothes to somebody who goes at consumerism and acquisition with a single-minded focus that I do not bring to any other area of my life. There are several factors which have contributed to this shift in shopping habits, and I'm sure I'll unpack those in a later video, but just off the top of my head, I think moving into a new job in a different environment, having a little bit more disposable income, discovering new and beloved online influencers and style content creators, and creating a Vinted account have all meant that I have shopped over the last few years in a slightly different way. Shopping has become a bit of a crutch for me, so it's an activity I've noticed I turn to when I am bored or tired or hungry or sad or angry or just waiting for a bus. More than that though, and quite apart from the hit on my bank account that so much shopping takes, I have noticed that I also use shopping as a patch, something to apply when I need a distraction from making a difficult decision or having a challenging conversation or dealing with big emotions. It's like having a glass of wine, but I still get to have a new blouse at the end of it. So shopping has therefore also shifted from kind of a fun hobby activity into something that's a little bit more unhealthy. So I need to make some changes for the good of all of my healths, mental, spiritual, emotional, financial, physical, and this is the year to do it. It was the Lunar New Year on Tuesday. It's almost spring, it feels like the right time for a fresh start and a different approach. So why not do a classic no-buy year? Well, I have tried that twice in fact, once in January 2025 and once last month in January 2026, and both of them were abject failures. I was absolutely fine for the first couple of weeks, very smug, didn't need to shop at all, just living my life. And then around the month mark, my brain just went into overdrive in both years, and all I could think about was not shopping, not being able to shop, shopping when I would be allowed to shop again. It absolutely consumed my brain as a train of thought, and in the end, ironically, I just went back to shopping as a coping mechanism. So I come before you here a slightly desperate woman needing to do something a little bit different. My brain clearly needs a little bit of flex around this subject. I can't go completely cold turkey. And that is where this year and this video and this channel come in. So what are the rules of this low buy year? Well, here is the blueprint that I've set out for myself. I am allowed to buy £50 worth of extraneous fun stuff, EFS, per month. That's it. That's the budget, that's the spend for the month. So this budget will cover everything that I've been struggling with spending on. Clothes, shoes, coats, bags. I'm also extending this to books, art supplies, language learning supplies, homewares, and skincare and makeup that I don't absolutely need, because I've noticed that on the occasions where I have successfully not shopped for clothes, bags, coats, jewellery, my desire to spend money has been diverted into other areas of my life in order to get that little dopamine hit of purchasing something. And that isn't really addressing the issue at the root of my spending, it's just sort of transferring it to other areas. If there's money left at the end of the month, I can either transfer it to savings, or I can put it towards next month's budget, particularly if I'm saving up for something expensive. I am allowed to buy clothes I need. So for instance, right now I really need a new sports bra. So I am allowed to purchase that outside of the budget, but I am not allowed to buy a cute new pair of yoga pants to go with it unless they fall within the extraneous fun stuff budget. I've also omitted travel and social events from this strict budget, mostly because those experiences are just that. They're less about acquiring and more about just being and experiencing. So this would include dinners, coffee, cinema tickets, train tickets, plane tickets, hopefully. Plus, I don't feel like I struggle with overspending on these occasions. Also, the things I'm buying have to be of nice quality. So it's fine if they're new, it's fine if they're new to me, secondhand or vintage, but no more fast fashion. I would like the pieces to be of natural fibres as far as possible, no more yucky sweaters that disintegrate within the year, and also manufactured under ethical conditions and made a little bit closer to home, if at all possible. At the end of each month, I want to make a video to reflect on my progress and to talk a little bit about what's come up for me with regards to shopping and not shopping that month, and also to share the pieces that I have spent my budget on. So what am I hoping to get out of this year of lower spending, my low spend year? Well, honestly, space, breathing room, mentally, financially and physically. Physically, because my shopping habit has been fueled very earnestly in part by the desire to own a elegant wardrobe full of beautiful things that I love wearing. However, the overwhelming amount of mostly okay things and occasionally lovely pieces that make up my wardrobe do not bring me comfort and joy and glee when getting dressed, but just malaise, overwhelm and claustrophobia. So I'm looking to get to know the clothes that I already have much better and to slowly begin to augment them with lovely, thoughtfully purchased pieces that I know I'm going to have for a long time. I think longevity is key to building this wardrobe of dreams, and hopefully in the process I will uncover that most elusive of beasts, my personal style. Mentally, because I am fundamentally trying to understand, alter and shift my patterns around shopping and acquisition. I would like to reduce the constant chatter that goes on in my brain around shopping and acquiring things, and to see what rushes in to take up that space when I slow the busy thread of those thoughts. I would also like to free up brain space for the other important things in my life that I feel have become neglected. So reading and writing, finally finishing a novel, travel, seeing friends and family, learning Italian, learning more about YouTube. What mental space will I have, and what will I be able to fill it with when I am not constantly considering my next purchase? So why share this to YouTube? well, I've seen a lot of other people make similar kinds of content about their journeys through low spend or no spend years, and all of them have mentioned accountability as a reason to share what they're doing. And I am no different in that respect. I have mentioned earlier in this video that I had 2 failed no-buy years, and so I really need to and want to do something different this year. So this is where this channel comes in. Honestly, if it's just me over here making these videos each month, checking in, being honest with myself out loud, that already feels like a lot of motivation to stick to those goals, to stick to that budget that I've set out for myself. But if anyone wants to come along as cheerleader, if any of this resonates with you, then I do hope you'll consider subscribing, and having a few people along for the ride would be an amazing support and also would help me stick to those goals. I also think that part of the reason for doing this is to reflect upon and excavate the impulses behind my desire to shop with reckless abandon, and that it might be easier to access those observations, for those to come to the fore, if I'm here just chewing them over out loud each month. And finally, and I've heard other people say this too, but I've been watching fashion and style YouTube content creators for a number of years now, and it always looks like fun, and I really wanted to join in and respond creatively to what I was seeing, and be part of a community rather than just kind of lurking in the shadows. So that is the other reason for doing this. So thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, I am truly appreciative. Let me know if you're doing something similar, if you're embarking on, or if you already have embarked on a low spend or no spend year. I'd love to know how it's going for you. Thanks again for watching. Please consider subscribing if you'd like to, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.